Hey there, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today we're doing some dogfighting action. This is Down in Flames Locked On from Dan vs. Games. And a quick disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. So this is a head-to-head card-based dogfighting game, but they have a solo mode, which is what I'll be playing through today. And I'm not going to do a separate review video for this one because I think competitive is kind of the main way to play, and solo is just a nice add-on. But I will give some thoughts at the end of the video. Feel free to use the timestamps to skip those. And if you like the content here at the One Stop Co-op Shop, lots of ways to support us. You can support our Patreon and get early access to all our videos and at least 2 exclusive videos every month. You can also watch our separate streaming channel for even more great videos, discussions, interviews. We also have a weekly podcast and a Discord where you can come talk to us. Lots of ways to get involved. All right, so the basic idea of Down in Flames is that you are dogfighting with planes, and in this case, I have the F-14A Tomcat. That's my very advanced plane, and I'm going against 2 planes, but both a lot weaker, the F-4F Phantom II and the Mirage F-1C. And each of these planes has a bunch of stats and suggested starting missiles. We'll get into those soon. But the core action of the game is handled by these cards, and these are what you'll use to maneuver and change your range to other planes as set up for a shot with missiles. It's mostly missiles, although you can shoot people down with your guns too. And the biggest thing in the card play is reacting. So a lot of cards will have things that say reacts to blank, reacts to blank. Because basically how the game works is each card you play is an action attempt, and then the other plane, whichever one you're impacting most, since I'm fighting against 2 here, they can play reactions to what you're doing to try to cancel your action. And you basically take turns playing cards back and forth, reacting to whatever the last card played is, until one of you stops, and if the original person who played the action card, they play the last card, then their action resolves. If the other reacting player plays the final card in the little reaction sequence, then the card is canceled. That's like really, when it gets down to it, the basic core gameplay loop. And the most important cards you're trying to get are Tone and Guns. Tone is to fire a missile, Guns is to gun them. And there is no damage tracking or anything in this game. If you shoot somebody with a missile, kind of like in real life, they're just dead. I mean, if they can't dodge it or use a countermeasure, there are ways to avoid the attack. But yeah, if you successfully attack with guns or a missile, your opponent is destroyed. So this playthrough might be like 5 minutes or less. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can destroy at least one of these guys before they take me down. But the rest of like the nitty-gritty of the game, I'll explain as I go through the round. But I do just want to show you one very important thing. There is a solitaire chart, and you're basically going to be rolling a d10 and adding and subtracting modifiers to find out what the AI does. So we'll see that for both of the enemy planes as they take their turns. And actually, I do want to explain one more core concept before I start the game. So the game uses relative ranges. They have these tokens. You could also like put them out on a map, although it's not really necessary. And one of the actions you can take in the game is to get closer or farther. And the range whenever you want to attack another plane is equal to the highest range between the 2 of you. So like if mine was at radio range and this one was at active range, active being the furthest out, then we would have active range to each other. Even if I close to heat-seeking range or gun range, our relative range is still active because it's the highest or the furthest away of the 2 planes. So right now I would be at radio range to this guy because that's the highest of ours, and active range to this one. But then each plane is also at high, medium, or low altitude, which has all its own modifiers. But the key thing to remember is that for each difference in altitude, the range counts as 1 farther away. So if the Phantom was at low altitude and I was at medium altitude, 1 difference, then our radio range would increase to active range. And by the way, active range is the furthest away, so even if we were 2 altitude different and both at active, we would still only be at active range. You can't get any farther away than that. Now, additionally, there's positioning. Once you're in range of your weapons, you can get advantage on somebody, which is going to change how your missiles hit and change like how easily you can attack them. And you can even be tailing them, and you can have like this whole chain of people with multiple aircraft tailing each other and following each other. Again, you'll see all that as we get into things, but those are just some of the complications in the game. All right, so to start things off, I have to choose my starting altitude. I'm going to start at high altitude. To summarize the overall effect, being at higher altitude makes it easier for your missiles to hit, but you have less thrust. You're going to draw fewer cards at the beginning and end of your turn, but you also have better performance, which means you can hold more max cards. Like my 8 performance right now means I can hold up to 8 cards in my hand at the end of a turn, but the little +1p on the high altitude token here means that I have 9 performance, but -1 thrust, so it would be 1 thrust. That's how many cards I'll draw. This little smaller number is the afterburners, twice per game if your aircraft is equipped with them, which mine are. I can turn that on to get way more card draw, but it does make heat-seeking missiles more likely to hit me. There's a lot going on. Hopefully it'll make sense as we go. But long story short, I'm starting at high altitude. Now, another important stat is the EW, Electronic Warfare Rating. I have 2, they both have 1. That means, first of all, I'm going to choose the turn order. I can let myself go first or let them go first. But additionally, that's going to be a modifier as the AI decides what altitude they want to start at. So I'm going to roll a d10 for each of them, and then I'm going to add 2 per point they have higher EW than I do, or subtract 2. So in this case, I'm going to subtract 2 for each of them. Okay, so first for the Mirage, 1 minus... Okay, so he'll start at low altitude. Wow, I'm going to kill him. And the Phantom is going to start at 7 minus 2, medium altitude. All right, so there we go. The Mirage is going to have better defense against missiles and faster thrust, so better card draw. But he'll have lower performance, so a lower max hand size when we check that later. And that medium, of course, doesn't affect anything. And now I can choose who I want to go first, and I'm the only one in this entire combat that has missiles. You'll see this green bar here. That means I can shoot them at this green range, whereas both of the other planes and my other missiles can only shoot at radio range, black, and heat-seeking range, the second closest, red, or closer. These are like the maximum ranges. Yeah, so I can literally kill these guys right now, so I'm not going to try to do anything to change the range yet, and I'll go first. Another important stat is relative speed. I've got 3, they've both got 2. That means I get 1 free maneuver action at the beginning of each of my turns without spending any cards. And maneuvering can be used either to change your range, and that can be changing your own or another enemy's, but remember, I like where I am right now because I'm the only one who can shoot this far. Or your position. Now here's the interesting thing about these green missiles, these ones that can shoot really far. The first value is how many cards you'll draw to try to hit them. Higher is better. When you're at a neutral orientation, so just facing nose to nose like this. The second number is if you have advantage facing their side. The third number is if you are tailing them behind. So these missiles are actually better at the start of a confrontation, not tailing the person, but just like shooting right at their face. So with that in mind, I'm going to choose not to use my maneuver. I'm just going to try to blow this guy up. And actually, I skipped a few phases there. So first I decide if I want to turn on my afterburners. Again, I can use them twice per game to get 6 card draw. At the beginning and end of my turn, you have 2 card draw opportunities each round, but I definitely don't need to do that. Then you do your first draw, so here for only 1 card, because I have -1 thrust. And you can discard as many cards as you want first. Right now I have 8, but because I'm at high altitude, my 8 performance is increased to 9, so I can hold 9 cards, and again, I have 1 thrust, so I'm drawing 1. So no reason to discard anything right now. I can fit another card. Oh man, okay, this is great. The tone is what I'm going to use to shoot missiles at these people, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tone cards, including a steady tone, which has a little bonus to the attack. So long story short, I think this Mirage might not be long for this world on the very first round. That's how we like to start, just blast them. Okay, so after deciding to use my afterburners and after my first draw phase, I can choose to change my altitude. Right now I have the advantage in high altitude. I'm going to have an easier time shooting them. I'm coming out of the clouds, so no, not going to change it. Then I can do the speed thing that I explained I don't want to do, but that's when it would actually happen in the round. And then I get to playing my cards. So yeah, I'm just going to try to get a tone on this Mirage until he doesn't dodge it and I can actually fire off the missile and hopefully kill him. I want the tone steady to be the one that actually destroys him because again, it has a better chance. So I'm going to try playing one of these basic tone cards first. In the upper left, I could play this card for a generic 1 positioning change, which would, for example, let me get at an advantage to the plane. And if I played another 1, so like each of these is a single move. Or let's say they were tailing me, 1 position change would make it a little bit better for me, another one would make it back to neutral. So that's what like the single numbers mean, a single like move in orientation. Cards also have a generic range change value. This one has 0, so it can't be used for that. But that, again, lets you change either your own or one opponent's range values to get them where you want them for your weapons. But all this is already good, so I'm just going to play the card for its own thing. It says, may launch 1 missile, so that's if they don't react and cancel this card, I can launch 1 missile, and if it hits, they're dead. So whenever you do something that the AI might want to react to, you check if they're going to play a card. And it says, play a card in reaction on a 9+ roll, but they get +1 to this roll for each card in their hand. This is supposed to basically model that they would have a lot of reactions to play. So this guy I'm shooting at the Mirage has 7 cards in hand. This might take a while. Now you don't add this +2 for versus destroyed just when you're trying to get tone. They only use that if they're getting shot at guns or if you're actually attacking them like with the missile itself, where literally they will die if they don't play a reaction. So he's got 7 cards. Only a 1 will cause him not to play a card. He does here. And then you find what card you played and you roll to determine which card they're considered to have played. The actual card in their hand doesn't matter. So here for tone, they played a break. And you do discard one card from their hand just to represent them having used the card. But again, you don't care what it actually... Oh, that's funny. It actually was a break. But you don't care what it is. The roll on the chart determines what you can react back to. All right, so currently he broke a way to stop my tone. So I could, let's see, I could play my scissors. They say react to scissors, yo-yo, break, or countermeasure. So because break is an option, I could discard this in reaction to his card, and my tone would be active again. And then he can try to react to my scissors. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to drain him of cards so I can actually shoot him down. So I'm playing scissors to his break, following his move. And that beep is still going. Let's see if he reacts. Now he's only got 6 cards, so he needs a 3+, and he got it. So he's going to play a card again, and this time it's in reaction to my scissors. And let's see, he got a 4. He's doing a barrel roll. And by the way, if you get a result that is a slash, the card they would have played goes back to their hand, and they don't react, because some cards are harder to react to, like Ace Pilot being the best example. Even if they react to your Ace Pilot, there's a very good chance they won't actually react. But yes, they're doing a barrel roll. And I can react to a vertical roll, but I have nothing that can react to a barrel roll. So he has moved enough to break my tone, which means my action does not go off. But I can keep on going. And let's see, do I want to do another tone, or do I want to do my steady tone now? He's at 5 cards. I think he can still probably dodge pretty well. I'm going to play another regular tone, try to get a missile on him again. All right, he's got 5 cards now. Ooh, and he does not react. So we have got this missile, or at least a chance to fire a missile on him. We could choose not to, but what the hey. So I'm shooting my AIM 54C, and because we are at neutral orientation, I'm going to get 6 cards. Now, what does that mean? When you actually shoot a missile at them, you get a separate missile hand, so all 6 of these cards are not going to apply anymore. Basically, it's like the missile is trying to follow them and chase them and get the hit on them. And there's a lot of modifiers here, so I've got 6 to start. But then you're going to subtract the enemy's electronic warfare rating, which is normally 1, but because he's at low altitude, it's 2, so that would bring you down to 4 cards. But then you gain a card for each altitude level you are higher than your opponent. So since I'm at high and they're at low, I am back up to 6 cards. This is for my missile. And let's see. Okay, I've got 2 barrel rolls and a break. Oh, and Ace Pilots. Now, unfortunately, missiles cannot use these. These are the best cards in the game, but missiles can't use them. Guns can't react to anything, and tones can't react to anything. So basically, out of these 6 cards, I've got 3 that might allow me to actually hit him. So my chances are not amazing here. But he's only got 5 cards to react with, so I've got a chance. The first thing he has to react to is a missile card. So he's got 5 cards, but this is now a versus destroyed situation. If he does not react, he is dead. So he's got +5, +2 more for 7. So if he rolls a 1, he's dead. Or actually, no, he'll use his countermeasure. I should remember they always have the countermeasure. But if he rolls anything higher, he'll react. So he did indeed react. And let's roll for how he reacted to the missile card. In this case, it's a 7. He played, no, not a vertical roll. That does take away another one of his cards. He's down to 4. And let's see. I do not have anything out of these 3 that reacts to a vertical roll. So unfortunately, he did dodge my missile at the cost of only 1 card. And I lose the missile forever. So I'm down to only 1 of those green ones. And by the way, this full hand of missile cards is discarded. They don't apply anymore. So I could try to shoot my other green missile at him. The one big negative with that is that he still got his countermeasure. I didn't force him to use it. And countermeasure is a very hard one to counter, so there's a very high chance if he has one that my missile will miss. Like, it's almost impossible for the missile to hit when they still have a countermeasure. And at this point, I'm only going to draw 1 card at the end of my turn, so I could be putting myself in a lot of danger if I keep on trying to shoot him. Well, okay, let's do 1 more card. It's not going to help me dodge their stuff. Anyway, I'm going to do my better tone card. This will give me +1 card for my missile if it actually gets the tone on him. And he's only got a +4 this time. Oop, he's reacting. Okay, so on tone, he plays a vertical roll. But I can vertical roll with his, and I've got 2 of these, so I probably don't need them both. All right, I'll follow him. So now he's only down to 3 cards in hand. He would need a 6 to react. Nope. Okay, so I do have a tone on him. And I don't have to shoot my missile, but I'm going to. So it's going to be the same 6, but +1, because it was a steady tone card, so I got a better lock on him. He'll probably just use his countermeasure, but at least I'll have made him waste that. And let's see. Oh, this is not a great hand. I got another Ace Pilot that I can't use at all. 2 guns that I can't use. But I've got 3 yo-yos and a barrel roll, and you'll see that neither of those can cancel a countermeasure. So yes, high likelihood that he will just countermeasure this away, or even not need to if he does well with his first roll. So he's got 3 cards +2 because it'll destroy him, so he just needs a 4 or higher to react, and yes, he does. So what's he reacting to with the missile? A 9. A red line. Oh, it's a really hard one to stop. Yeah, and as I expected, I think only a red line cancels a red line, so he dodged my second missile. That's it for my greens. He is down a lot of cards, but yeah, that was not great. Maybe bad planning on my part. So I'm out of green missiles, and I'm sure they'll be coming to me, so I don't want to play any other cards for this turn. So I'm just going to draw my thrust, which is 2, -1 for being at high altitude, just 1 card. Yeah, I kind of went all in on that one plane, and now I bet between the two of them, they might have something to say to me. All right, now the enemies are going to take turns. We'll go and have the Mirage go, and then the Phantom just go left to right. So first the enemy decides if they want to turn on their afterburners. And let's see, for the Mirage, they are down to 2 cards, so that's +1 to the roll. And they have 2 afterburners left, so that's +4 to the roll. But if I have heat-seeking missiles, which gain a bonus against people using their afterburners, I can get +2 cards to blow them up with when the missile hits. That's -4. So it's actually an even roll on a 7+. Nope, he's not going to turn afterburners, which means he's only drawn 2 cards. Oh no, 3 because he's at low altitude and his thrust is +1. And now what the AI does is they try to maneuver until you are in one of their weapons envelopes, which means within range and in the correct positioning. And for the Mirage, both their missiles can hit at any position, except for being disadvantaged or tailed yourself. You can't shoot at somebody that's behind you. So the only thing stopping them from shooting right now is that we're all at AH range, and also the altitude member is adding range. Which, speaking of, means we have to check if he adjusts his altitude. So it's +1 on the roll if I'm at a higher altitude, which I am. And a 7, 8, so he is going to climb, but that discards 1 card from his hand. You lose 1 card when you climb, you gain 1 card when you descend. So he's at medium altitude to me now, brings him down to 4 cards. And he wants to get me within radio range. Now, with our altitudes being different, that would mean just having both of us in radio isn't enough. He has to have both of us in heat-seeking because the 1 altitude difference increases the relative range by 1. So yeah, he has to change range 4. His own range twice and my range twice. So he's going to roll, adding 1 per card in his hand, so that's 4. This is basically going to say how efficient his movement is. So for this first card, he's going to play to change range. He rolled a 5 + 4, 9, which is in the 8 to 11. So this first card is only going to change his range by 1. And for range and positioning changes, the cards you're looking for are ones that react to maneuvering, which is break here, but I don't really care. He has to do 3 more changes to actually get in range, so I'm not worried. And they prefer to change their own range first, so he's going to get in radio range. Okay, then he's going to go for it again. This time he's only got a +3, so he got a blank. And this is a rule that's been a little bit confusing. I've even looked on BGG. Some people say that you just roll again and keep on rolling until you get a higher result. I think that's dumb. I think he's going to stop his turn because he realizes he's too low on cards to get close enough right now. So he's just going to draw up to 5 cards using his 2 value again because his afterburners are not active. All right, so he's definitely still very far away from being able to shoot me, but he got a bit closer and did refill his hand some in case I try to kill him again. All right, meanwhile, the Phantom's already at medium range. He would also like to shoot me. He has 4 missiles of each of heat-seeking and radio variety, although you'll notice that his have a lot of dashes. So these heat-seeking ones can only be shot if he's tailing me. These ones can't be shot at advantage position where he's at my side. They're best head-on with neutral position, just like mine. But I'm really sad I didn't kill the Mirage because his missiles are way stronger, even though the Phantom has a ton of them. All right, so first is the Phantom going to turn on afterburners. He's at an overall -2, +2 for having 2 left, but -4 for me having heat-seeking missiles. So no, with the -2, he will not turn on his afterburners. Wouldn't make sense anyway. Then he would draw 2 cards, but he's already at his max performance of 6, and the AI doesn't need to discard and redraw because they just have blank cards, basically. But is he going to change his altitude? I am higher than him, and yes, he is. Okay, so he's reached my altitude, which means I'll have a harder time shooting him, and he can get closer to me faster. But it does require 1 of his cards. I'm okay with that. And then he's doing the same calculation as the Mirage did to get me in the envelope of his closest weapon, his AIM 7E missile. He needs to change his own range once to radar and my range once to radar. Only 2 range changes are needed since he's at the same altitude as me. And he's got 5 cards, plus a 6 is an 11, so he's only changing range by 1 with his first card. If he rolled higher, it'd be kind of like he had a better card to play, and that single card could change the range by 2 or 3 or whatever values all by itself. And once again, I do not care if they change that range, but he's going to try again with 4 cards. And if this one succeeds, he'll actually be able to attack me, but nope, he's also stopping. But drawing only a single card since he's at high altitude. So, okay, they didn't get close enough for me to shoot them yet, but we could make that happen on our turn. And that's the end of 1 full round. The engagement lasts up to 6 rounds, so we'll see if we are still alive that long. Let's go back to my turn. I think I am going to use my afterburners, because right now I have a max of 9 cards and I only have 4 in hand. So I'm going to turn them on. Heat-seeking missiles will have a +2 missile against me, but they would have to get really close for those to be able to shoot at me, so I'm not worried about that. And then I'm drawing my afterburner value, which is 6 thrust, but -1, so 5, and I can still hold 9 cards. But he can't draw over that max number of cards. So I've got 5 cards. I'm about to draw 5, which will take me 1 over, so I can discard 1 first. I don't think I'm going to need guns. I'm not going to get that close. That's the closest range to shoot those. But I'll keep all of these and draw 5 more. Okay, another vertical roll, another break, a yo-yo, a third break, and another guns. Although this one can actually react to missiles and like shoot the missile, I guess, to stop it from destroying you or something. Yeah, so much weaker attack opportunities this time, but great defense options in here. Although a little bit maybe too redundant, but yeah, I mean, I have almost 1 of everything, I think. Okay, and then with my 1 speed bonus on them, I can do 1 range or position adjustment, and I think I will. Oh, by the way, do I want to change my altitude? Yeah, you know, I guess I do, because I'm going to still try to kill that Mirage. So I'm going to change my altitude to medium, which does give me an extra card draw, and this is the only situation where you can go above your performance. So I have 10 cards in hand, but that's allowed. A barrel roll. Yeah, I don't really have much attacking opportunity at all, do I? All right, so I'm going to try to get in black or red range and maybe kill the Mirage. Maybe I should even shoot him with guns. Who knows? But either way, that means I need to bring us closer, so I'm going to use my free speed move to do 1 range change to bring myself to RH. I need to pick who's reacting to it, so I'm going to say that even though it's only my own range changing, I'm doing it to the Mirage, since he's the one I'm going to try to kill. So he's got 5 cards to react with, a 10. So yes, he is reacting to my maneuvering right here, and we roll again. And he got it. Oh, so actually he did not react to my maneuvering, so I don't discard a card for him. And the 1 range change happened successfully. So again, if you get a dash, it's like they didn't actually play a card. Although honestly, I sort of might have liked him to have played a card. But yeah, we are in range for my black missile right now. I only have a single tone. And he still has his countermeasure. But yeah, I mean, he's not using afterburners yet. I kind of want to save this for when he does. So all right, it's kind of our only attack this turn. I'm going to try to get a tone on him, just a basic one. Okay, and he's got 5 cards. Let's see. So he does react. And to tone, he's reacting 9 with a red line. I don't know if I can react to that. Yeah, dang it, that's what I thought. Red line can only be reacted to by red line or by that ace pilot thing, and I've only drawn those for my guns, unfortunately. So he successfully breaks my missile lock. So I don't have any tone cards left. Do I just, like, charge in and try to get a gunshot on him? Maybe? Well, here's the thing. I still have my afterburner, so I'm about to draw 6 cards at the end of my turn, and I can only hold 8 of them. Which means, oh my gosh, yeah, let's do it. So all these breaks each have a 2 range value, which means they'll give me 2 range changes if it goes successful. So I'm going to try to increase my range 2 with him. And with this first one, I'm going to try to get him to be 1, 2 changes into gun range. I'm going to try to shoot this guy. So that's a break. Is he going to react with his 4 cards? No. So he is not reacting to our break, which means I do successfully bring him to his own gun range. But now I have to do the same for myself to be able to actually shoot him. So let's do another one of these breaks for 2 more movement. And he's still got the same 4 cards, and he is reacting this time. And a 9, a yo-yo. I think I can deal with that. So remember, I really want to make him use his cards. So let's see, scissors can react to yo-yo, or yo-yo can react to yo-yo. Both of these I only have 1 of. Scissors break countermeasures. Okay, so scissors is great to stop a countermeasure with a missile, but here it doesn't matter at all. So I'm going to use this one first. And he's only got 3 cards now to react to my scissors. Oh, and he does. So what's he doing? Scissors. A 3. He's playing his own scissors, okay. But he's down to only 2 cards. Yes, I can use my yo-yo to react to scissors. So I'm still closing in on him. Right now he's only got 2 cards. Is he really going to stop me again? Nope. That's an 8. He would have needed a 9, so he's not reacting. So I successfully closed the distance. We are at gun range since we're both at medium altitude. And now I can play my gun card. So it says if neutral, which is how we are right now, we're facing each other, I have to discard 3 cards to play this, 3 other cards. If advantaged on his side, I have to discard 2 cards. If tailing, I have to discard 1. If he doesn't dodge it, he dies. But he's playing as a gun rating. This is subtracted from the extra discards you have to do. So with the Tomcat having a 2, right now with us facing each other, I'd have to discard 1 other card. And if I go to advantage, I would have to discard 0 cards. So sure, let's go ahead and do a vertical roll to try to reposition myself by 3. And yeah, I'm only going to use 2 of those positions to try to get right on his tail. So is he reacting with his 2 cards? He is. You dummy. I'll just murder you. So it is on the maneuvering one. And 4. Oh, never mind. He did not react. Darn. But that does mean that I am on his tail. And here we go. Countermeasures can't help with this. He just needs to dodge it with his last 2 cards. I am shooting him with guns. If I'm tailing him, I have to discard 1 card. My 2 guns more than makes up for that. So I have to discard anything extra. He's got only 2 cards to try to dodge this. So 2 cards plus 2 because he'll be destroyed. So 4. Come on, 4 or less. 4 or less. Just die. Yes! So, all right. Blew him out of the sky. And now it's just me and his buddy. You know, I'm still going to draw 6 cards in a second, so I might as well use one of these. Let's do another vertical roll to try to get on that guy's tail as well. But he's got 5 cards, so much less likely this will happen. Hope he's reacting. Okay, into a maneuver. 6. Oh, he's not reacting. Ha ha. Wait. Never mind. I can't do this. Whoops. Because I forgot, not only is he at radio range, but he's also 1 altitude different than me, which puts the range, the relative range to active. And I don't have any more green range active missiles. And you cannot try to reposition yourself in relation to another plane if you don't have at least 1 weapon that has range on them. So, never mind. But I do get to draw 6 cards. Right now I can only draw 5. Do I want to get rid of one of these? I mean, yeah, all of these are good. I'll just get 5 new ones. Ooh, I got 2 tones. One is a tone or a gun, although it's a weak tone. I got a red line, which as you saw was the 2nd best defensive card in the game. Also amazing for maneuvering, so not bad. Meanwhile, going to my opponent, are they going to Afterburn? 1, I think, says no. They're definitely not going to get to a 7+. All right, and because they're still at high elevation, they're only drawing 1 card with their thrust of 2, but that brings them to their max of 6, so it doesn't matter. All right, then do they want to dive? I'm at a lower altitude than them, so on a 4 or more, they will dive. Nope, they're staying where they are. So we have a 1 altitude difference, and their closest weapon is a radio range weapon. So since we're at radio range, they're radio and I'm gun, it's +1 because of the altitude difference, so we're 1 out of range for them. They have to close the range once to be able to shoot us. And with 6 cards, let's see, ooh, that's 16. So they're going to adjust their range position by 3. All right, so they'll discard 1 card to initiate that action. And I can oppose it, but I mean, I don't really need to. I'd rather wait until they attack and then try to stop them. Now, since it was a 3, I think they do like all the changes they can. So I think they're going to get right to gun range. And now I'm in the envelope of their black missiles, which shoot at 2 when you're neutral. And sorry, they're not actually at gun range because they're still above me, which also means they're going to get a +1. So the missile is going to be like a 3 value. Although I've got 2 countermeasures and 2 electronic warfare, so it'll only be a 1. Yeah, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have taken such a good plane. So now we're in the missiles envelope. They're going to roll to see how good their attack is. Basically, the more cards they have, the higher chance they'll get a better tone. So they have 5 cards in hand. 7, so a 12. So they're getting a basic 0 tone +0 on me. But they've got a ton of missiles, so I guess I can go ahead and try to break their tone, right? I'm going to draw some more cards in a second. I don't have doubles of anything. Let's try to use a break to cancel that tone. And they've got 5 more cards. They do react to my break by playing their own scissors. Scissors. Okay, I can use a yo-yo or my own scissors. I'll use the scissors. Okay, now they're down to 4 cards. Oh, they are reacting to my scissors with a barrel roll. Man, they really want to shoot this crappy missile at me, don't they? I will let them keep using up cards. Okay, yo-yo cancels barrel roll, so does barrel roll. So I'll use my own barrel roll. Do they react with 3 cards? 3 + 5? No, so they let that tone go. But I'm still in their envelope, and they've got 3 cards. 3 + 3 is 6. Okay, they stop playing cards. And they draw up to 5 out of their max. Oh, no, they only draw 1 because they're still at high altitude. I'm going to kill you. Meanwhile, for me, my afterburners shut off. But you know what? Let's just kill this guy. Let's activate them again. So I'm about to draw 6 cards, but I can only hold 8. I really want to get some attacks. Red line is great. I'll keep that. I'll keep the tone. Guns. Well, I guess we would be at gun range, so sure, I'll keep the guns. So I'm going to get rid of these 2 and just draw 5 more. Vertical roll, barrel roll, split S, tone, and yo-yo. All right. By the way, I haven't talked about, but some of these cards have like their own special abilities. Like this one lets you change your altitude by 1. So some of them you can play for other actions. Those things don't take place, by the way, if you're just using them as a reaction. Then they're just like kind of a canceling card. All right, I want to have maximum options here, so I am going to change to match his high altitude, which means I have to get rid of 1 card. Do I need 2 tones and a weak? Let's get rid of the split S. That reacts. I feel like this is played on their turn to kind of cancel their turn, so I'm not going to use that. And wow, we are already at gun range, so let's try to get behind him. And I can shoot some heat-seeking missiles, although he doesn't have his afterburners on, so they won't be as good. I can do lots of fun things to him. So let's go ahead and play the vertical roll to get 3 positioning changes. Try to... Oh, no, that's right. I get a free move, don't I? Yeah, let's do that first. I'll try to get an advantage on him. And is he reacting with his 4 cards? Yes, he is. But is he actually reacting? What is it, a 4? No, he's not. So I've got advantage. But my Heat Seekers, predictably, are even better when they're tailing. So let's try to do that. I think I'll use my Yo-Yo to get one more positioning. All right. And 4 plus 4, he does not react. So I am tailing him. Let's start getting some tone. Basic 1. He's only got 4 cards. Yep, he is reacting. And what did he use on my tone? A 9. A red line. Well, it just so happens that I, too, have a red line. Mwahaha. So let's see if he reacts again. He would need a 6 plus this time. Nope. So I've got tone on him. Let's go ahead and use my missile. We don't have any altitude difference. He has 1 electronic warfare, so that's 5. Although, wait. I forgot we're at high altitude, so -1 to electronic warfare. So never mind, it's just 4 straight up. So drawing 4 cards for the, ooh. Okay, actually, there we go. I got a red line and a vertical roll. Those are both pretty good. These are useless, so not even going to hang on to them. But these 2 will help me try to catch him. He's only got 3 cards to stop the missile, +2 because it'll destroy him, so that's a 5 for his reaction. He does react to the missile with a barrel roll. Really? Nothing? Dang it. Okay, so he dodges that missile, which means he still has his 1 countermeasure. I mean, I guess I'll try to shoot him with a missile again, and then I can do a 3rd missile or gun. So yeah, we'll do another tone. He's down to 2 cards, so yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he'll react. Okay, another 4 cards this time. Ooh, this is good. All of these have some kind of reaction. So let's see what he's doing against the missile. Is he reacting? 3 plus 2 plus 2. Oh, that's only 7. So when the reaction roll fails, but they still have a countermeasure, they will play it. So I need to react to the countermeasure. Oh, so sad for you. So sad for you. One of my 4 cards was a scissors. All right, so now he has to try to react. He's still got the same +4 modifier, 2 cards, and +2 for being destroyed by this. He does not react. So 1 gun kill on the Mirage, 1 phantom kill. Yes, I think going for a plane that was double the victory points of these people, I don't think this quite adds up, at least not in the solo mode. They just could not withstand my might. So that was Down in Flames, Locked On. Hang on if you want to hear my thoughts. Again, I'm not going to do a full review of this one, but just kind of hear what I think. So first of all, the graphic design, you know, it is what it is. This compares to other Dan Verson games I've played, like Thunderbolt Apache Leader or Warfighter. They, like, you know, do okay. I kind of like the actual, like, art for the planes flying around is pretty cool. I don't ever, like, really love their graphic design for the, like, cards themselves, but it gets the job done, I guess. What does not get the job done so well is the rulebook. Man, I was looking up a lot of stuff on BGG. They do have a separate rulebook for the solo mode, but that also has some lack of clarity issues. Now, this is the only Down in Flames game I've played, so maybe if you've played like a lot of the games in the series, but Dan Verson Games sometimes has rulebook difficulties, specifically when it's Dan or his son designing, I've noticed. So some of my favorite games, like Warfighter and Field Commander Napoleon, they also have kind of rough rulebooks, and this is no exception. So just to kind of know going in, you'll probably have to go look up some rules clarifications. Unless this video helped you, then maybe it'll be fine. But the actual gameplay is pretty fun. I mean, you can see it's very random. Like sometimes your first missile, they just won't have the right cards to stop it, and you'll be dead in like 10 seconds. But especially when you get into multi-plane kind of sorties, that's really cool. For competitive especially, running a ton of solo bots, especially when like you have multiple planes, can get a little bit weird because like the solo rules don't really cover targeting pretty well. The solo does work well with a bunch of planes against you. Like I could have even played against 3 enemy planes and the solo still covers it pretty well. There's also campaigns you can do with connected stuff, but again, I find this better for multiplayer than for solo, just full disclosure. So yeah, it's a very quick and random game, and the rules are a little bit less clear than I would like, but I think the solo bot runs fairly smoothly once you get used to those charts and modifiers. You don't really need to use too many different things. They kind of tend to be the same thing over and over. And the tension of the game is great, like when you shoot off that missile and you're waiting to see if it connects, or when you're trying to dodge their missile and you're like holding your breath. I don't know, not that I've ever been in a dogfight before, but I think it does a pretty admirable job of capturing the theme of the game. So yeah, potentially worth checking out if you like dogfighting, if you want to try it out solo, or especially if you can also play it multiplayer, give yourself a lot of options. Down in Flames is pretty fun. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you at the next stop.